I want you to take a slow, deep breath and just let your shoulders drop for a second. If you have been feeling a strange sense of detachment lately, almost like a fog has lifted, and you are finally seeing your life with crystal clear focus, there is a very powerful reason for that. You are picking up on a massive emotional tectonic shift that just happened in the heart of your soulmate. But here is the twist. This is not a celebratory, aha moment for them. It is a cold shower moment. It is the kind of realization that makes a person sit up in bed at 3 in the morning with their heart racing, finally seeing the truth when the room is empty and the silence is deafening. Your soulmate has finally realized something monumental about you. Something they were too blind, too scared, or too arrogant to see when they had you standing right in front of them. And the question that is currently haunting every corner of their mind, the question that is making them feel like the floor has been pulled out from under them, is a simple, terrifying 2 words: too late. In our culture, we are obsessed with the idea of second chances. We love the movie ending where the hero realizes their mistake just in time to stop the plane or run through the rain. But in the world of high-frequency soul contracts, there is something called the point of no return. It is that invisible line you cross when you have been taken for granted for so long that your soul simply disconnects. You have reached that line. And for the first time, your soulmate can feel that the thread they have been pulling on for months is finally slack. They have realized that the door they thought would always be unlocked, the door they assumed they could walk through whenever they were ready, has finally clicked shut. This message did not find you by accident today. It found you because you have been the anchor in this connection for so long. You have been the one holding the space, the one doing the healing, and the one waiting for the light bulb to go off in their head. Well, the light bulb is on now, but the light is revealing a room that you have already started to pack up and leave. I know how heavy this feels. I know there is a part of you that wants to scream, "Why now? Why did it take losing me for you to see me?" It is a painful irony. But today, we are going to look at the delayed clarity they are experiencing. We are going to talk about why some souls are designed to only value the sun when the first frost of winter hits the ground. We are going to dive deep into the mirror of loss. I'm going to tell you exactly what triggered this realization, the specific moment they realized that you are not just someone they know, but the only person who ever truly saw their soul. We are going to talk about the comparison trap, how they have been out there trying to find you in other faces and other voices, only to realize that you are a once-in-a-lifetime frequency that cannot be replicated. I am also going to reveal the panic response. I am going to show you the signs, both physical and digital, that they are currently spiraling because they fear the clock has hit 0. If you have been feeling a sudden, heavy grief in your chest that does not feel like your own, or if you have noticed them orbiting your life in strange, indirect ways, I am going to show you why that is the sound of them trying to beat the buzzer. But most importantly, we are going to talk about your power. Because for the first time in this connection, the ball is entirely in your court. You are no longer the one asking when. You are the one deciding if. This is not just about a realization. It is about the final countdown. Your soulmate has finally seen the diamond, but they have seen it just as it is being moved into a vault they no longer have the key to. So sit back, get quiet. Do not rush to check your phone or wonder what to do next. Your only job right now is to understand the magnitude of what they just realized and to decide if they're too late. Realization is enough to make you turn back around. Take one more breath. Let us look at the grand realization and the moment their world finally turned upside down. We have a saying, you don't know what you've got until it's gone. It is a cliché because it is a universal human truth, but for your soulmate this was not a gradual realization. It was a violent, sudden collision with reality. I call this the mirror of loss. For a long time, your soulmate viewed your presence in their life as a given. You were like the air they breathe, essential but invisible. They took your patience for weakness. They took your consistency for lack of options. They assumed that because you were always there, you would always be there. But recently, they hit a wall of silence that they did not expect. Whether you consciously decided to go no contact or you simply stopped leaning in emotionally, they suddenly looked into the mirror and realized that the person who used to reflect their best self back to them is no longer holding the glass. What triggered this? It is often something small that creates a massive comparison trap. In their attempt to move on or stay distracted, they have likely been interacting with others. But here is what happened. They tried to find your depth in shallow people. They try to find your soul-level understanding in people who only care about the surface. And every single time they tried to replace you, they were met with a hollow echo. They realized that they were not just losing a partner or a friend. They were losing their North Star. The psychological shift from taking for granted to being terrified of the void is one of the most painful experiences a soul can go through. Right now, your soulmate is looking at the space you used to occupy in their life, and it is no longer just an empty chair. It is a gaping hole that nothing else can fill. They have realized that while they were busy playing games or finding themselves, you were busy outgrowing them. They are haunted by the ghost of access. They remember when they could just text you and get a reply. They remember when they could see your smile with a simple "hey." Now, that access feels restricted. It feels like they are standing outside a house they used to live in, looking through the window at a party they are no longer invited to. This realization is too late because it is happening after you have already detached. They are finally ready to value the diamond, but only because they see it in someone else's hand or locked away in a vault. This is not just about love anymore. It is about the crushing weight of their own regret. You can feel this right now as a strange sense of emptiness when you think about them. That is because you are not feeding them your energy anymore. And for the first time, they are having to survive on their own. They are starving for your light, and the hunger is finally making them see clearly. Let us talk about why they have realized you are literally irreplaceable. What exactly did they realize? We are often told that people miss you because of how you looked or because of the things you did for them. But that is surface level. What hit your soulmate recently, what really shook them to their core, was the realization of your soul frequency. They finally understood that you were not just a person in their life. You were a portal. They realized that when they were around you, they felt like a better version of themselves. You had this hidden value, this ability to see their potential even when they were acting out of their shadow. For a long time, they mistook your grace for blindness. They thought you did not see their flaws. But now, in the cold light of your absence, they realized you saw everything and chose to love them anyway. That kind of unconditional, high-level sight is incredibly rare in this world. And they just realized they threw away the only person who truly vetted their soul. They have also hit what I call the uniqueness factor. In their ego, they thought, there are millions of people in this world. I will find someone else who makes me feel this way. But as they have moved through the world lately, they have made a terrifying discovery. You cannot be replicated. They have realized that your specific mix of strength and softness, of wisdom and playfulness, does not exist anywhere else. You are a one-of-one addition. The realization that they might have traded a diamond for a handful of common stones is what is keeping them up at night. There is a specific memory of your strength that is currently haunting them. It is likely a moment where you stood up for yourself or a moment where you walked away with your head held high. At the time, their ego might have been defensive. But now, they keep replaying that moment, and instead of seeing defiance, they see value. They see a person who knows their worth. And nothing is more attractive or more intimidating to someone who just realized they have lost you than seeing that you do not actually need them to survive. They have realized that while they were weighing their options, you were the prize. They are finally understanding that your kindness was not a service you provided. It was a gift you shared. And because they did not protect that gift, the universe has revoked their access to it. This realization feels too late because they can see that you have integrated that value into yourself. You are no longer looking for them to validate you. You have become your own source of light, and they are now just a spectator watching you shine from a distance. This hidden value is now the only thing they can think about. It has reached them, and it has changed the way they view every other person they meet. No one measures up. No one has that thing that you have. But how is this internal realization manifesting in their behavior? Are they just going to sit in their regret, or are they going to freak out? This is where the realization shifts from a quiet thought to a loud, frantic action. When a soulmate realizes they might have lost the one person who truly matters, they do not stay calm. They enter a state of high-alert panic. They feel like they are standing on a pier, watching the last ship sail away, and they are desperate to find a way to stop it. The first sign of this is the digital orbiting. Have you noticed a sudden glitch in your social media? Maybe they liked a photo from 3 years ago and then immediately unliked it. Or perhaps they are the very first person to watch your stories every single time. This is because they are fact-finding. They are trying to see if the too late energy they feel is reflected in your life. They are looking for signs of a new partner, a new city, or just a new look in your eyes that says you have moved on. They are scouting your life because they are too terrified to knock on the front door. But the most intense part of the panic response is the energetic grief you might be feeling. If you have had a day where you suddenly felt a wave of heavy sadness, a sadness that does not feel like it belongs to you, that is their regret hitting your field. You might be perfectly fine, drinking your coffee, and suddenly you feel like you want to cry for no reason. That is their soul cry. They are mourning the version of you that was easy to reach. They are realizing that the version of you that would have forgiven anything has been replaced by a version of you that requires accountability. They are in the final countdown mindset. They feel a physical urgency to do something before you are gone forever. This is why you might get a random text that says something meaningless like, "I saw this and thought of you," or "Hey, did you ever find that book?" We call these breadcrumbs, but in this context, they are not just snacks. They are life rafts. They are testing the waters to see if they can still get a reaction out of you. They are trying to beat the buzzer of your indifference. They feel like the sand in the hourglass is down to the last few grains. They have realized that while they were taking time, time was actually taking you away from them. You might also be feeling the heart magnet again, but this time it feels different. It does not feel like a pull toward them. It feels like a pressure from them. It is the weight of their desperation trying to find a landing spot in your heart. They are subconsciously begging for one more chance, one more look, one more undo button. But here is the danger. Their panic is not the same as their growth. Just because they are panicking does not mean they have actually changed yet. It just means they have realized they do not like how it feels to lose. You are holding a frequency that is incredibly rare. You are in the post-attachment phase. You have felt the signs, you have sensed their panic, and you know deep in your gut that they have finally woken up. We are programmed to be fixers. When we see someone we love in pain or regret, our first instinct is to rush in and say, "It is okay, I am still here. You did not lose me." But if you want this realization to actually mean something, you have to do the hardest thing possible. You have to let them sit in the too late energy. Think of it like this. If a diamond is always available for free, it eventually feels like glass. The only reason your soulmate is having this massive epiphany right now is because they finally felt the cold of your absence. If you warm them up too quickly, they will stop growing. They will go right back to the old patterns because the consequence of losing you was not felt long enough to create a permanent change in their DNA. The high road is not about being petty or seeking revenge. It is about sacred boundaries. It is about setting a price of admission that reflects the version of you that exists now, not the version of you they took for granted months ago. When they send those breadcrumb texts or try to orbit your life, your response, or lack thereof, must communicate one thing. The version of me you knew is no longer available. You are not being mean. You are being honest. You have evolved. You have integrated your value, and if they want access to this new kingdom, they cannot come in with the same old excuses and the same old half-hearted efforts. By staying on the high road, you are actually doing the most loving thing you can do for them. You are forcing them to face their own reflection. You are forcing them to do the work that they have been avoiding for years. If this connection is truly a soul contract, then this too late feeling is the exact medicine their soul needs to finally mature. So here is your final integration. Over the next few days, as the panic response from their side intensifies, I want you to stay in your queen or king frequency. When you feel that tug on your heart, do not reach for your phone. Instead, take a breath and say to yourself, I am worth the wait and I am worth the change. You have spent enough time being the one who realized things. It is their turn now. Let the universe finish the lesson it is teaching them. If they are meant to be in your life, they will find a way to pay the new price of admission. And if they do not, then you have already cleared the space for someone who will not need to almost lose you to realize what you are worth. To seal this energy and tell the universe you are done with the old cycle, take a moment now. Breathe. Feel the calm, heavy authority of someone who has already won the war not by fighting but by becoming, by growing, by healing, by refusing to shrink. In your heart, with the quiet certainty of a soul that has done its work and can now rest in the outcome, declare this. I am the upgrade, not as a wish, as a fact, as the truth that has been written before either of you were born. You are not going back to the old dynamic, not a step backward, not a compromise. You are moving forward, and anyone who wants to walk beside you has to catch up to your speed, not drag you back, not slow you down, catch up. The realization happened. The too late fear is real. Now let us see if they have the courage to become who you need them to be, not who you used to want, who you need now. The upgraded version of you requires an upgraded version of them, and that is not your work to do. It is theirs. Stay elevated, stay in your peace. You are the upgrade, you have always been the upgrade, and now they are finally realizing what they lost. Not what they could have had, not what might have been, what they lost. A real, living, breathing person who chose them, who saw them, who held space for them, who believed in them when they did not believe in themselves. A person who did not walk away because the love was not there, but because the love was not returned in the way it needed to be. A person who finally, after all this time, chose themselves. And that choice, that sacred, difficult, necessary choice, is what woke them up. It is a painful irony, is it not? They could not see your value when you were standing right in front of them, offering it freely. They could not appreciate your light when it was shining directly on their face. But now, from the distance, from the cold, from the silence, they see it. They see it clearly. And the clarity is devastating. But here is what you must understand as you close this message. Their clarity is not your responsibility. Their regret is not your burden. Their panic is not your emergency. You have done your part. You have loved. You have waited. You have hoped. You have healed. You have grown. You have become the person you were always meant to be with or without them. And that person, the one you are now, is not the same person who would have accepted breadcrumbs. That person is not the same person who would have waited by the phone. That person is not the same person who would have let them walk back in without accountability, without change, without proof that the lesson has been learned. You are the upgrade, not because you are better than them, because you are better than the version of yourself that settled, because you have learned what you deserve, because you have stopped measuring your worth by their attention, because you have become whole on your own, and wholeness is the most attractive thing in the universe. So now you wait, but not in the old way, not in the anxious, hopeful, please let this be real way that has worn you out in the past. You wait in certainty. You wait in peace. You wait in the quiet confidence of someone who knows that what is meant for you will not miss you, and what is not meant for you will not satisfy you. If they are meant to return, they will return as the person they need to become, not the person who left, not the person who took you for granted, not the person who only valued you when you were gone, the person who has done the work, the person who has faced their own reflection, the person who has grown enough to stand next to the upgraded version of you. And if they do not, if the too late becomes permanent, if their regret never transforms into action, then you have not lost anything. You have only gained yourself. You have cleared the space that was holding you back. You have opened the door for something better, someone better, or simply a better version of your own life. Either way, you win. Either way, you are not the one who lost. Either way, you are standing in your power, untouchable, radiant, whole. So breathe. Let the certainty settle. Let the peace sink in. Let the waiting become a resting, not a striving. You have done your part. The rest is in God's hands, and God's hands are the safest place for anything to be. Close your eyes. Let your body relax. Let your mind quiet. Let your heart rest in the knowledge that you are loved, that you are seen, that you are not forgotten, and that something beautiful is already on its way to you. Whether that something is them, transformed, or something you have not even imagined yet. You are not alone, you have never been alone, and you never will be. The same God who has been working behind the scenes of your life is with you right now, closer than your breath, closer than your heartbeat. He is not distant, he is not distracted, he is not disappointed in you. He is here, and he is smiling, because he knows what is coming. He knows who is coming or who is not. And he cannot wait for you to see that either way, you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The realization happened. The too late fear is real. Now, let us see if they have the courage to become who you need them to be. Stay elevated, stay in your peace. You are the upgrade, you have always been the upgrade. And now, they are finally realizing what they lost. Amen.